And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Dead Man's Draw, which is a pirate game. It's actually a tabletop version of a popular digital game. Apparently this was a digital game first. This is a game of pushing your luck. How far will you go? Which means a couple things. One, I'll never win it, but also it's a kind of game that I like quite a bit. When I played this, I was reminded of another game from GameRight that came out several years ago called Duck Duck Bruce. And this game is very similar but has a lot of special abilities. Let's check it out. The deck is made up of different suits of cards. Each card has a different color and a different symbol on it. The cards go from 2 to 7, usually, except mermaids, which are higher. You're going to take the 2s and the mermaid 4, which are the lowest cards in each suit, and you're going to shuffle those together, and that becomes a face-down discard pile. The rest of the cards are placed here. Each player then gets 2 of these cards, which basically give you, this is who your character is going to be. You're going to pick one, and it gives you a special ability that your character has. Then one player goes first, and this is how a player's turn works. They turn a card over from the deck, and they look at this card, and they see what special ability this card might have. Now this happens to be a mermaid, so the mermaid has no special ability, they just have higher numbers. Now I can stop at this point and take the mermaid and put the mermaid in front of me. Or I can continue to go. So let's say I continue to go again. I get a key. Well, a key could give me some benefits if there's also a chest. Other than that, no benefits, so I draw again. An anchor. Anchor has no benefits, but I'll explain a little bit about what an anchor does later. I draw another anchor. Now, when you draw a second card that matches a suit that's already drawn, then you've busted, and you discard all your cards. Fortunately, in this case, an anchor keeps all the cards before it's safe, so I would just lose these 2 cards, these anchors, and I would put these 2 in front of me. Now, when you put cards in front of you, you put them in a pile. You're going to have 1 pile for each suit, and you put the highest card in the top. So these are the only 2 I have. So let's say it's my next turn. I turn this over. A hook. A hook makes me put one of the cards in front of me back, so I'll put the key back. Then I drew another key, so now I've busted it, and I've lost everything. So now I'm down to this. On my next turn, I draw a sword. A sword lets me force another player to put one of their cards in the middle. So let's say someone else had a Kraken, and I put a Kraken, although the Kraken's dangerous because it makes me draw the next 2 cards. Whenever you put a card in the middle, its special ability goes active. So a cannon, and a cannon basically puts the top card from anybody's bank into the pile. So over here, let's see, I see Bob has a 7 key, so I put that here. And then my second card for the Kraken is a treasure chest. This looks pretty good, so I think I'm going to stop here. And because I kept the chest and this, I'm going to get bonus cards equal to the number drawn. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 5 cards from the discard pile. And so since I have a 2 cannon and a 5 cannon, they go like that. Since I have a 4 mermaid and a 5 mermaid, 5 mermaid goes on top, a 2 key and a 7 key, a 2 anchor, a 2 treasure chest and a 3 treasure chest, a Kraken, and a sword. And this is going to continue. This is how the game plays. When the deck runs out, you are simply going to take the top card of each stack, add those together, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. There's some other things you can do. There's like special rules that you can add where all cards and players' banks count for the score, not just the top card of the stack. Loot cards must bust on numbers, not suits. So if you draw 2 of the same loot cards, so there's different rules you can have. And again, there's special abilities that players will have. So, you know, maybe Gunny here, he has a special ability. And by the way, there's cards that show you what each of the special abilities do for each of the suits and for each of the traits here. So Gunny, for example, he has kind of a weird red symbol here. But when he shoots someone's card with a cannon, normally when you shoot someone's card with a cannon, it goes into the discard pile. But he gets to put it into his stack instead. So players have different things like that. Anyway, most points is the winner. The majority of the folks who've played this game, I brought this game to many meetups and people have grabbed it and played it, and most people have really enjoyed it. I don't think gamers will like it so much. It's certainly much more of a casual game, and I like the whole aspect of turning the cards over. Like I said, this is a kind of an update of an older game called Duck Duck Bruce, and it does the same thing well, where you turn cards over and see them happen. Now this adds a whole 2 layers. One, you have the special abilities of each of the cards. Some are clearly better than others. And then you have the special abilities of the characters. Now if I had my druthers, I would take the special abilities of the characters and chuck them, because there's just too much going on, and I'm not convinced the characters are balanced. Some of the characters' abilities seem much more deadly than others. For example, one character makes, when other people draw the Kraken, they have to draw 4 more cards instead of 2, which is almost a guaranteed bust for other players whenever they draw a Kraken. And it just seems overpowered compared to the guy who, when he draws a cannon, he gets the card instead of someone else. That's not as big of a deal. So the game is fun. I would take out the character powers and the special powers, so there's a lot going on, but at its heart, it's just a very simple game. You flip over and you can stop. You can take a couple cards and keep them, or you can try to take a bunch of cards. This sort of thing has been around for a long time, but this adds it in a little pirate-themed package, and I think some people will enjoy that. So I like this one, although it's like at the very minimum of what I would like, because again, I almost feel like there's too much going on, and like these special cards with the special abilities, there's just way too many of these. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like just a little too much. For a simple game, there doesn't need to be that much special things going on. I would have just stuck with the different the traits of the cards. So anyhow, fine, cool graphic design, cool pirate theme, a game a lot of people are going to like and enjoy. It could have been a little better. Dice Tower Judgment, approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
You want, like, shut the door!
Yeah? Yeah.